This week's episode of Lovers Quarrel is brought to you by Raw HandBags. Recognize a Woman LLC, Raw, was established in April 2015 by founder and CEO Sharnae Stanley. Each handbag is named after a powerful, iconic woman in the world. These beauties range in uniqueness from fringes, furs, distressed denim, metallics to backpacks and more. All handbags are designed for all women to wear fearlessly, spread womanhood, and inspire. Check out Raw Handbags at www.rawhandbags.com, on Facebook at www.facebook.com/rawhandbags, or on Instagram at shopraw. Feel free to enjoy 10% off your purchase using the code LOVERS10. And now, let's get to the show. Hello, hubby.
Hello, wifey.
I was trying to, demonstrate, use some pet names, and
I got you.
And usually I talk to the listeners, and so now I'll talk to you.
Oh,
you're a little special. You know,
I am.
New year, new me.
Wow. What's going on with you?
Me or them?
I'm talking to you.
Oh, I'm okay.
You were talking to me, so I'm talking to you.
Okay, sorry. Excuse me. I'm okay. Just trying to live my best life, trying to end my last half of 30 better than the first half, and, really trying to make 2018 a better year than 2017. But all in all, I'm going to say I can't complain, all things considered. How about you?
I'm cool. I do what I do.
Do what you do.
Slinging and banging, moving these bricks, feel me? Yeah. I'm out here. Just cooling. How was your New Year?
My New Year was really good. We were in
Vegas. It was cold.
It was chilly. It wasn't
I didn't plan properly at all.
I tried to tell you.
You didn't say it's going to be cold. You should bring hoodies.
Well, who doesn't check the weather before they travel somewhere?
I mean, it's Vegas. So I'm good. I'm Gucci.
But it's December.
Okay.
Well, December anywhere, I would...
I mean, it wasn't like unbearably cold. It was just like, oh.
No, it was like the high 50s.
Went from being in -2 weather to 50 weather. Still cold, but
Yeah, well, we went to Vegas, and that was really a great experience. And thank you to those people who, helped make that experience possible.
Agreed.
We got to take in a show. We got to eat out. We got to
gamble.
You got to gamble, yes.
Got to go shopping.
You got to go shopping, yes.
I got to be in a Uber, no, Lyft, because
oh my God,
we don't use Uber anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So I got in a Lyft, and I was being cheap. I was like, I'm gonna do this Lyft line, like, you know what I mean? It was $7 versus like $9, I think it was, or 7 versus 11, whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
You know what?
Tell them what happened.
I'm in Vegas.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get my line on. So we're about to be on a freeway. He turns around because he got to go pick up somebody. So right where the hotel we were staying at, they had to go back to that. So we basically just made a U-turn. We pick up a prostitute.
And you're certain she was a prostitute?
I'm certain.
She couldn't have just been a hoe?
Prostitute, hoe. Is there a difference?
I mean, like somebody who was being a hoe versus somebody who
she could have been both.
Their occupation is hoe. She
looked, well, you know what? She had prostitution talk.
What's prostitution talk? I'm choking. Sorry.
Like, I was in the hotel. I was in the casinos all night. I lost all my money. I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like, game was running, but basically we get there on your Lyft on the app. It tells you like you're coming to pick up D or some shit like that. Mm-hmm. So we get there. He called the Lyft driver calls the person, and there's a woman talking, but then there's a guy talking. So dude had her. You know what I mean? So I was like, you're sitting up front. And then we go pick up some other people. So now we got a couple, myself, mm-hmm. and this prostitute. But they dropped me off first. So I don't know where she went. I don't know anything else, but I'm pretty certain she was a prostitute.
Alleged.
So that taught me, don't be cheap.
No.
Next time, I'm going to spend that extra $2-4
And just take
and be by myself.
Yes, I think you should.
So, but other than that was fun. We did the fair as well.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Nah, it's too slow for me. We was with like the Duggars.
Yeah, there was a lot of white people on there, and they were all related to each other.
And they all looked alike.
But I laughed though because when we got on, as soon as you stepped on, looked like you were about to like throw up.
That's because the shit was moving as you step on. The
pod so slow.
The pod doesn't stop. I know, but people were walking slow, and that's why they have a net underneath it because obviously they got to be safe. So yeah.
Oh, I didn't even see the net.
Yeah, see.
I wasn't.
But
planning on falling.
Vegas was dope. I think I prefer being away for New Year's. Mm-hmm. As opposed to like being local or whatever.
Yeah, I can appreciate it. I don't necessarily think I have to go back to Vegas, but I can appreciate being out of town.
Yeah, I'm Vegas out. I'm like super Vegas out. Like,
yeah, it's not really my city, I don't think, overall.
No, not at all.
But
I had a great time.
Same.
So that was kind of a little recap. Because we missed you last week.
Because I died.
Yes, Daddy died.
So this is my ghost speaking to you all right now because I caught a stomach bug
from Tatum.
From Tatum.
And she gave it to like everybody. Everyone she came in contact with.
Well, no.
Not everyone.
She really
98% of the people she came in contact with.
But she caught it from somebody else.
Okay, but still.
And then she of course, she
my brother got it. My mother got it. I got it. Dani got it.
Darren got it too.
Darren got it. Everyone. And then some people was just immune to it. So shout out to Tatum. So that's why we didn't record last week.
Yeah, I was hugging the toilet bowl last Thursday.
Feels good to just be back, talking, conversing. During that time, we got a new review.
We did get a new review.
So I'm trying to find that now. So I want to shout those people out.
Yes, let's talk to those people. Or let's recognize those people. Let's recognize them.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was correcting myself.
Okay.
Because let's see what they said. This is from DKPJCW. I like the podcast overall. TJ sometimes comes across condescending with the way he will correct or say things to Dani, but that could just be his personality and his joking manner. Definitely helps to hear a married couple's perspective, so I will continue listening. You know what? I appreciate that. I appreciate all feedback, positive and negative. I'll take criticism. I listen to myself sometimes, and I don't think I sound condescending, but I'm also going from a biased self. So, I feel like because I know me, I know I'm not being condescending.
You're not intending on being it, no.
So you're saying that I am condescending?
I'm saying that sometimes your tone necessarily doesn't always align with your intent.
So you're saying that I am condescending?
No, I'm saying that your tone doesn't always align with your intent when you speak.
Well, I think because they can't see my face, that they can't see whatever. But like I said, I appreciate any feedback, and we appreciate it. We just want to be better and be helpful to you guys, and be. I can't think of the word. Sorry. Be resourceful.
Okay.
To you guys. So any feedback is appreciative
and welcome.
And now we can
work on your show. Yeah, you can work on your condescension.
Yes, dear.
See, condescending.
I wasn't condescending. I'm conforming.
Ask that user that little exchange right there sounded like condescension to him.
I'm just conforming.
All right. Well, like you said, we can actually get into the actual show right now.
There's a lot that's been going on.
Yes, there has.
I'm not starting, you starting. I'm starting, you starting. I think you should start.
All right, I'll start.
All right.
So my vent of the week.
Vent of the week.
My vent of the week is liars.
Liars. Sidebar. She's not talking about me, y'all.
No, I'm not talking about TJ.
Okay.
TJ's a lot of things, but a liar is not one of them.
Won't.
So, especially people who lie by omission or who overtly lie. Like, there's lying is like a nuanced art. I accept and appreciate that. And there's some people who do it very well. There are people who...
You have any examples?
If
you don't, you don't.
No, not off the top of my head, okay. But for the sake of time. So...
What time?
I'm saying I don't want to like have dead air sitting here thinking about somebody who...
Got you.
...is a liar. But when you just like leave stuff out because you don't...
You have an example?
I do, but I don't want to get into that example. But
okay.
So I'm thinking about some things that have happened over the last week, as far as experiences.
Okay.
And I don't want to. Yeah, it's just
okay.
Some things I've experienced. Okay.
People who omit.
So people who lie by omission, because it's just like you don't even have the balls to like stand in your lie, like to just tell an overt lie. And I'm saying this as somebody who sometimes, from time to time, subscribes to that school of thought as far as when it comes to lying. And then the other people who are like your overt liars, like people who are just going to tell you bold-faced, over the top, like lies when it's just like, I just saw you, or I just heard you, or I have it sitting here in my text messages, or whatever, that you were not being forthcoming. And it burns me up because it's like, if you're wrong, living your wrongness, like living your truth, be wrong, take your L, and keep it moving. But to lie about being wrong, or to lie about whatever you did, just it makes me so much angrier than if you just and then the actual indiscretion that you or transgression against somebody. Like, don't lie. Like, or if you're going to lie, don't lie poorly and don't lie like a pussy, because that's what omitting and lying overtly are. You're either too scared to actually come together with a good one, or you're just so bold-faced that you're going to make up some like grandiose scheme or story to fit your narrative or to get what you want. And it just like, it really irritates me. And I just feel like a person who is, like I said, everybody lies, and sometimes it's with good reason or good intent or whatever. And sometimes it's not, but nobody's perfect. But I'm especially talking about those like habitual, like you are a constant liar in one way or the other. Those people just like, they just make me so annoyed, and they should go somewhere and work on themselves. And that, my good sir, is my vent of the week.
Okay, so my vent, well, I have two really. I have one small, one big, and the one small just came because somebody was like advertising, like starting your own business, like working from home, and we all know when you see something like that, and whenever someone reaches out to you or talk about you can make money, hit them, and it's like private, it's ACN. It's one of those pyramid schemes. I got
$100. I give you 800.
I hate back. All of those fucking schemes. Excuse my language. I hate all of them schemes. Like,
but if
don't call me.
If you give me 100, I can get you 800.
For everyone, don't ever ask me to join an ACN. Don't ask me to. I don't trust any of that stuff. Nope. You can call me a fool. You can say I'm dumb. All that. Nope. If it's too good to be true, it's too good to be true.
I understand.
I'm not grinding hard. I'm not going to get 15 people so they can get 15 people, so then their 15 people can get nah. So I hate that. That's a small one. ACN, fuck you.
No Ponzi schemes in your future?
No. But my big one is how sensitive we have become as a society.
I'm gonna let you go ahead. Go ahead.
Nah, you had your little sigh. So the H&M thing happened.
The H&M, yes.
And it's an African American boy wearing.
He's not. I don't know if he's African American, but he's black.
All right, a black boy.
Because it was like UK, so he may not be American.
Well, I'm glad you brought up that point, because that's gonna come to where I'm coming from with this. So black kid has a shirt that says "Coolest monkey in the jungle," and the world is upset How racist
it was problematic.
Are they? H&M is the most racist company ever. Burn them down and throw them away. Mm-hmm. And I see the shirt and I'm like, I can understand where people may come from. But then I'm getting the context, you know? It's in the UK. So I'm like, are they as racist in the UK as they are in America?
I believe so.
They might be, but they might not be. I don't know. I don't have the same feeling. Like, was it poor taste? Sure, it could have been.
It was definitely poor.
If he was up there wearing a shirt and he had a black face, then yes, 100%.
Well, do you get that, like, the nuances of it? Like, it's... I understand what you're saying about, because I know that there were definitely people on different sides of the fence on this topic, and it was like some people felt like people were being overly sensitive, like, oh, we're going to take up issue with everything. Little kids are like, you know, they climb all over the place like monkeys and blah blah blah. But what I'll say is this: is that
if they had a bigger version, I would wear that. I love monkeys. My first 6 apartments that I lived in, because we lived in a few apartments.
We did.
Not really 6, but I'm over exaggerating. My bath mat was a monkey. My toilet was a monkey. I still have that monkey toilet somewhere in this house.
Okay.
And my shower curtain was a monkey.
Okay, you can like monkeys, but that doesn't mean you have to call yourself a monkey.
I don't think it's as big as that. But I'm taking that little small situation, a large situation. I'm taking that situation and I'm putting it into everything. Like, anytime people do anything now, people are finding ways to complain about what they're doing. A comedian makes a joke about transsexuals. Transgender. It's not funny. You can't talk about that. Whereas a comedian, if you say it the right way, it's fun. Funny is funny.
It is, but then maybe their joke didn't land, if that's why people took offense to it.
Sometimes it doesn't land, but sometimes people are just we've become so sensitive. Because the same joke, if a comedian, because I heard people talking about Dave Chappelle, and they're saying that in his new comedy special, he talks about transgenders, and he's going too far. Mm-hmm. But what about all the other jokes he was talking about? Mm-hmm. Why wasn't those jokes not too far?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're going to pick at one thing, you got to pick at something else. Like, what's next is going to be music. What the artist says is going to be, like, an issue. Everything is an issue.
Well, I think
everything.
Well, I'll say this. I understand where you're coming from as far as thinking like there's more hypersensitivity, but I think just to kind of play devil's advocate to argue it from the other side.
Go ahead.
Maybe it's not necessarily hypersensitivity. It's just that it's now people are pushing back against the societal norms that have been put in place. So saying like, yeah, it was always fun to joke about, women being sexually harassed. Like there were comedians who joked about that, and now it's not deemed that way because there's been because of the issues that have arisen. The same thing with people being trans and being joked about because there's a higher number of people who are trans, especially people of color who are trans, who are beaten and killed. And so people necessarily don't find it funny if you're making jokes at the expense of marginalized groups. Or now, don't get me wrong, like everybody needs to.
As a comedian,
okay,
there's free range, I believe.
Yeah.
If Richard Pryor can talk about him having homosexual relations as a comedian, talking about himself.
But he's talking about himself.
All right, but I'm saying the fact that he's able to make light of his situation and his demons, everything is open.
But okay, I get what you're saying.
It's not.
I'm not totally disagreeing with you.
So like,
but those are his demons to be able to.
So when Nene Leakes told the woman that she hopes she gets raped.
Her Uber driver raped her. That was awful.
Yeah,
but it wasn't funny.
Exactly, but it wasn't a joke. I mean, she could mask it as a joke, but you could tell the difference between a joke
and she was just lashing out.
And someone lashing out, but now because because I'm a comedian, and she's not really a comedian. But anyway.
I get it.
So that's just my thing. I just think we're coming into a time where everything is like, you got to watch what you say. You got to watch how you say it. You know, if this person deems it this way, then you have to apologize. Like, we're just coming into a really soft world.
I mean, I don't feel
bullying is like, if you joke on people, that's considered bullying. And people joked on me all my life.
Yeah, but bullying and being joked on are two different things. Let me back up though. I don't think I disagree.
I don't think they're two different things. But go ahead.
I don't think that there is this, wave of sensitivity that is, everybody's being soft or whatever. Okay. Do I think that people are being forced to be more cognizant and aware of what they're saying or how it might come across to other people? Maybe. Or maybe people are being less tolerant of the jokes if they don't find them funny. Because the thing is that, yes, in comedy, yes, people joke about the uncomfortable. They joke about the ugly side of things. A lot, like some of the most tormented souls are comedians, but they learn how to turn their pain into laughter, which I get and I appreciate of the art of comedy. But going back to like the whole H&M thing, let me get back onto the topic. Mm-hmm. You have, as a company, H&M made the decision to put that particular child in that particular hoodie, whoever the creative director, whatever it is. And what I'll say is this, is that to me, that situation is a testament to why there needs to be greater diversity in these different areas, because I don't see me sitting on the creative board, the exec board, the advertising, all these different organizations and departments that picture had to go through before it made it to print, before it made it to the website. If there were more people of color in those areas, maybe somebody along the way would have been like, guys, you may not want to put a little black boy in a hoodie that says coolest monkey in the jungle.
So if they would have put it on a little white boy, it's acceptable.
I would have said this is that.
So if they put it on a little.
If they put it on a little white boy.
A little white boy.
Uh-huh.
White boy wears it, and then a black boy buys it now. Like, if that's the case, they should never make anything that says anything about monkeys.
Okay.
That would be my statement.
And what I'll say is this: is that if they put it on a little white boy as opposed to a little black boy, it probably would have been less problematic.
Because the white boy had the tiger.
He was called a tiger expert or whatever. He was called a survival expert.
It had a tiger on it. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but it's the word said like survival expert or whatever. If a little white boy, if
it said survivor expert and the black boy had a survivor expert shirt, you don't think people would have made something out of that?
Not like the way you would have made a monkey out of it. Because there's a history behind the word monkey, and as it pertains to black people, there's not a history behind the word monkey when it comes to white people.
No, I get that. I'm just saying that shirt, the survivor expert. If a black boy was wearing a shirt that said survivor expert, you don't think people in this time would have been like, what is he a survivor of? It's a play on slavery?
How is it a play on slavery?
Okay. If you don't think so.
I think it said like wilderness survival expert or something.
I don't. Either way.
It was poor judgment. And and the thing about it is that, you know what? It may not have been the intention of the company of H&M to do that. They may have just thought like, oh, little boys play around all the time. They climb stuff. They do like they're little monkeys sometimes. But
I think it was an oversight.
But you know what? Maybe if they had more diversity in the departments and the groups that matter within their organization, somebody would have been able to catch it and it would have been avoided altogether. I think that might be the bigger issue at hand.
Possibly, but I also think the biggest issue is that we're living in a world where people are looking for things. Not everything is what it seems. I really don't think H&M sat there and said, "Hey, I know that this monkey thing is going to be an issue, but fuck it. This is what we're going to do."
Saying that, but what I'm saying to you is that's exactly what didn't happen, because there's nobody there to be like, because people. So, let me finish.
Go ahead.
So okay, but you're kind of cutting me off a little bit.
I was still talking.
Okay, go ahead.
But go ahead. No, go ahead.
All right. So, if you, that's what I'm trying to say is that the people in charge of their advertising, of their creative design that put together that ad, that spread or whatever, there's not there. I would bet all the money in the world I don't have. There's not enough diversity on those teams, which is why, because people bring, whether or not you realize it, people bring their experiences to their jobs. So
that.
if there's nothing but white people, or I should say anybody but black people on these teams, they're not going to be able to bring, they're not bringing their experiences. Their experiences don't include knowing or recognizing the connotation between black boys or black people and monkeys.
What if they had a black person, the black person was like, I don't see nothing wrong with it. I think you'll be okay with it. Then what?
And if they did, then that's a whole nother story. Because I'm fairly confident that it's not.
There's also a mother who allowed her child. She signed that waiver.
She did. And she didn't have a problem with it. But just because she didn't have a problem with it doesn't mean it's not problematic.
But it's problematic. It's only going to be problematic to the people who think it's problematic.
Well, yeah.
I
find it problematic, and you don't. Okay, but that doesn't mean that it's any less problematic to me.
I guess.
Like, I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just trying to say that.
I'm not saying that. I just think it's like, so anything that has a monkey on it, people shouldn't wear. It shouldn't be advertised.
I think
like Bathing Ape. It's called Bathing Ape. They have black models and it has monkeys on it. It has an ape on it. Mm-hmm. Why isn't there an outcry for that? Because
you're not with Bape or Bathing Ape or whatever it's called. Yes, a monkey is the logo, but you're still not referring to the person wearing the clothes as a monkey. That shirt on H&M said "coolest monkey in the jungle," meaning you will refer, the person, whoever had that on, is referring to themselves as a monkey.
Okay, so I'm gonna stand by what I said earlier. I don't think anything that references monkeys, people should not make. And if you're black, don't wear it. Pretty much, because the world will.
There's levels to it. It's nuanced. It's not perfect. It's not cut and dry, and it's not always black and white.
So let's take away the H&M situation. Mm-hmm. Genuine was called transphobic.
I disagree with him being called transphobic.
Oh, so you disagree with that?
Yes.
Okay. You don't think people were being too sensitive with that?
I do think there was a little oversensitivity. I don't think that there's, but I'm
just asking a question.
What I'm saying,
there's no ill will. I'm just asking a question because the bigger point is that we are living in a society where people are looking for things. People are looking for things to complain about, mm-hmm. and it may not even be that bad, but I'm just looking to complain about it.
I think it depends on the situation. I think that sometimes
there's more important shit in the world going on. There's schools that don't have heat, but we care about an H&M shirt. That's more important right now. And I just think our priorities are in the wrong place. We care more about an H&M hoodie, shirt, whatever, that somebody is that a young black male is wearing, but we don't care that the majority of our school systems are in debt. We don't care that our teachers are underpaid. We don't care that there's schools that do not have heat. And they're being in a still school, and the students are being told to wear their jackets and stuff like that. We don't care about those stuff, mm-hmm. because H&M made a mistake by putting a kid in a hoodie. I don't know. I just feel like we're just real sensitive, and
I think that there is. I don't think necessarily that you're wrong. I just don't think it's as cut and dry as you make it out to be. And to speak to the two topics that you brought up, both of them made national news. And what I'll say, I'll end it on this, is that it isn't impossible for a person to care about both things at the same time.
I get that. I'm not taking away from that.
Okay.
I'm just saying that situation, I watched the video of Genuine, and the trans woman mm-hmm. tells him pretty much he knows that she's a trans, so he's not attracted to a trans person. Mm-hmm. and she's like, no, I'm not a trans person, I'm a woman, and tries to forcefully kiss him.
And that was inappropriate.
But people are saying he's transphobic. No one's saying that.
I disagree that he's...
all right. Yeah. I'm saying that people are saying that he's transphobic. No one is saying, hey, she just sexually assaulted him. Mm-hmm. He didn't ask to be kissed. Mm-hmm. But because she's a trans woman and she's trying to prove a point, sexual assault doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. And to me, I'm like, how's he transphobic? Like, if he doesn't like a trans woman, it doesn't make him transphobic.
It does not.
It doesn't. So,
it's a preference.
But that's something that people are saying, that they're bashing his name and they're becoming very sensitive over the situation.
But I do hear people also defending him as well.
Okay. I've seen a lot more of people bashing him than defending him. But overall, I just think that we are becoming more and more sensitive.
Okay, well, you are entitled to that vent, sir.
I appreciate it, even though you try to change it. I love you, though.
I love you, too. And I'm glad we had that banter, even though it was kind of like the quarrel before the quarrel, right?
I mean, listen, that's why it's called Lovers Quarrel.
Lordy.
What do we have next?
Oh, the relationship tip of the week.
So you going to handle this?
Yeah, I got you.
All right.
So, relationship tip of the week for 2018.
The first one.
First episode, first tip of the week.
First episode of 2018.
Our first episode of 2018.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes, and then our first relationship tip for 2018.
Got you.
So, basically, it's a little saying that I picked up from my very wise mother-in-law.
She is pretty wise.
And she says, sometimes you have to, and I'm paraphrasing, but it says you got to know when to go around it and when to go through it. And a real partner can appreciate both. So what does that mean, y'all? In marriage, long-term relationships, medium-term relationships, early on relationships, wherever you are, it boils down to is like knowing how to pick and choose your battles. Sometimes you have to take a step back and ask yourself, is this worth me going toe to toe with somebody over? Especially if you know it's going to be an issue. And I can't speak for the parameters of which you make that decision, but within the confines of your relationship, you know what triggers your partner, you know what they can, they take well, or they can take in stride, you know their personality, and you know that, okay, if I bring this up to them, am I going to be ready to deal with all of the aftermath? Or, am I in the mind frame of having an argument? And if you're not, or if you think that it's not that important, or maybe it's just not that big of a deal. It really isn't that big of a deal. It might, annoy you, but it doesn't mean that you necessarily have to throw it in the person's face. So then that's when you kind of go around it, or you go around them. But on the flip, there's some times where there's just no tiptoeing around it.
I'm going through it.
And you got to, instead of going around that person, you got to go through them like a freight train. And you got to address them head on, and you got to call it like you see it. And it's uncomfortable. That's the side for me. That's the uncomfortable part. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't make me feel good. It makes me frustrated. It makes me stressed, because sometimes going through a person and basically saying like, nope, I'm going to take it right to you with my issue, means that you're inviting all the other, additions that come along with it, like the arguing, like the back and forth, like the pointing of the fingers. And you got to sometimes make sure you got the wherewithal and the stamina to go through that. And, I'm somebody who it's my nature to sometimes tiptoe around things, but
it's my nature to go through things.
And that's why I am working on being more of a bulldozer. Whereas, I don't know if TJ feels the need to sometimes scale it back, but do you feel like you need to sometimes tiptoe, or not tiptoe, but maybe like let it go?
Sometimes. I mean, it depends on the situation. Sometimes if I have enough time to be like, all right, it's not that serious, then yeah, but
typically,
nah, we're gonna go through this shit. We're gonna talk it out. We're gonna find a medium.
And that's why, and this is why this is part of why I'm so tired all the time. But It's definitely something that I think is a good tip for folks because you know what? In the time that we've been together, no relationship is no arguments and no relationship should be all arguments. But there's a time and a place for everything. And you know, as you get to know each other, you'll learn and find out what those, things are that you can kind of go around and what things that you have to go through them. And it's not fun, it's not easy, but you know what? Like I said, or like my mother in law said, a real partner, somebody who's really in it for you and with you, will appreciate both.
Yeah, I mean, you got to pick your battles sometimes.
So. Definitely. You got to really pick your battles sometimes.
You do.
TJ.
Words from a wise woman.
Yes. Heed them. Heed your mama's words. Oh my gosh. Okay,
I don't want to say anything and come across condescending.
Oh, so
boop, 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 boop.
So you're tiptoeing.
Nah, that was a little jokey joke.
I get it.
But yeah. So I'll heed my mother's words. And listen, I'm a work in progress.
You are. So am I.
So,
see, sometimes we got to take a page from each other's book.
I don't really have a book though. My joint is like a dictionary. Feel me? You gotta take a page from my encyclopedia. Feel me?
Okay.
Which is still a book, but
that's what I was gonna say.
I know,
but I was gonna choose not to because I was like, I didn't want to seem condescending.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just
that's
saying,
the word of the day, folks. Condescending.
Mine's like encyclopedia, dictionary.
And what's mine like?
Like a picture book.
Like a picture book? That's condescending.
With a lot of pictures.
Okay. Nobody even uses encyclopedias anymore. That's what Google is for.
That was a good joke. Nice little comeback. Shout out to you.
You know.
Oh, you're going to leave me hanging.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Nope.
I was looking at the next thing. Okay. But we have now a listener letter.
Oh, snippety.
So, let me get that real quick.
Snippety dippity. Drop.
And this letter.
What is our anonymous person called? Do they have a...
This person is called, like to be called, Ain't Having It Wifey. Ain't Having It Wifey. All right.
This is exciting.
All right. I'm going to call her Wifey for short.
I'm going to call her Ain't Having It Wifey. I'm going to respect her name. Put some respect on her name. But
okay. So, she says, I'm a married woman. However, there are several people I associate with who are single. So one day, I was going through an issue at home that required me to miss an event that an associate was giving. The associate was mad because family forced me to take precedent, or the family took precedent over that. After some time, the same associate felt that we were cool enough that she could voice her personal opinion on her viewpoint of my marriage and relationship. It caused a big confrontation between us because I feel like you are not in a position to offer an opinion on my marriage. Note, I have never been that chick to let the inside of my home, if we aren't cool or you're not bringing the same perspectives. So my question to you both is, how do you respond to people who have negative things to say about you and yours? Do you feel that you should continue to associate with that person? And lastly, how can you offer advice when you're single? There's obviously a reason. Ain't having it wifey.
Thank you, Ain't Having It Wifey. I mean, she that's tough.
It's a couple of questions. So maybe let's break it apart. So the first question is, how do we respond to people who have negative things to say about you and yours? So how do you respond to people who might have some things to say about?
That's when I probably would be condescending or like sarcastic with them, you know. If I'm like really close with them, like they're like one of my peoples, I tell them to mind their business. Like if it got down to that. But I feel like for the people who are that close, then our relationship may be different. You know what I mean? I may be venting to him or about my issue because he's going to be unbiased. You know what I mean? But if you are getting information from someone who's single, I mean, for the most part, you haven't lived this, so it's kind of hard. Like, everyone's going to have an opinion. Everyone's entitled to their opinion, but that's when you kind of got to bring them into reality. Like, our lives are different. Like, I have a whole family over here.
Mm-hmm.
You go home to your dog.
Mm-hmm.
I go home to my significant other and my kids, and this is different.
Mm-hmm.
You do not. So I think that's kind of the difference. Like, there's a difference between like dating, being engaged, being married,
Definitely.
being married with kids.
Definitely.
All of those things have different stages. So for that, I would
Yeah.
Depends on the person.
I think, what I'll say is this, is that I think that based on the description that was given, wifey, that the associate definitely overstepped a boundary, because she can be frustrated or upset that you didn't make her event, and even though you had something that came up, but it's not her place, and it's really not anybody's place, for the most part, married or single, to speak on why you make moves or you make decisions based on whatever's best for your family, and that's one thing I'm very clear. I want to be very clear on. So, she's entitled to her feelings, but to have spoken or made a commentary or a remark about your marriage or your relationships off the strength of the fact that she's butthurt because you couldn't make her event, that's problematic. So, but then to say, how do you respond to people who have negative things to say about you and yours? I quite honestly, I don't really pay it much heed. Like, if it starts towing the line of disrespectful, you're telling me like, how I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, or my husband's not doing what he's supposed to be doing, or whatever. And really, from the place that you're coming from, I have no time for you. I have no words for you, because at the end of the day, only you and your significant other know what's going on behind like your closed doors or your bedroom door or whatever, and then and only your family really understands that. So,
well, shit, I would say even family.
Well, no. I'm saying like your immediate family, like your your kids or whatever, okay. And then even but family included, like extended family. Yeah, you can't always invite them into what's going on.
You shouldn't,
and you shouldn't, as far as inside your marriage as well. Like, I feel
like you're always gonna have someone. I feel like you should always have someone who could be non-biased, because what I've seen is when you have someone and you're telling them negative things, people start treating their significant other a certain way based off of what you said.
And they start treating you differently, because it's like, both, yes. If all you do is talk horrible about your husband, and then
you're still with your husband,
then people gonna look at you like you're stupid.
Yeah, and if they're not someone who's like unbiased or someone who really understands, so that's what you really have to look for to see, because that can be an issue. As far as I feel like you can still associate with that individual. At least for me, like, I have different friends for different situations. You know what I mean? Got my closest friends. I have friends I don't see that often, and you can still associate with somebody, but you may not associate with them as much as you would.
Yeah, I think it depends on how she responded to you. Once you set that boundary, like, or once you basically address that situation. If she made her comment and then you guys had it out, and maybe cooler heads prevailed, and then you came back for a meeting of the mind. If she's understanding and receptive and respectful of like, hey, last time you crossed the boundary, you're not to do that again. As far as things as it pertains to my marriage and my family or whatever goes on inside my home, if we're clear, then maybe we can move forward as associates. If we're not, then it was nice knowing you.
Rocks.
So, and then to your last point, how can you offer advice when you're single? There's obviously a reason. So I kind of have like a little bit of a mixed emotion about this, because I'll say this. There are things that you're not going to understand until you're actually living it, like being married, like being a parent. Somebody who's single or presently single, maybe they were in a marriage before and they're divorced, or maybe they were dating somebody for a long time. So I think sometimes it depends a little bit, but I don't totally negate somebody being who's single, their input or experiences just because they're presently single, even if because they may have historical, like, they may have a history where
on their
where
history, 100%.
they might have something meaningful to contribute. But really, I think that depends on the topic, the time, the place, and the appropriateness of it. Because even just because you're not in the same relationship status as me doesn't mean that you don't have an insight into what it means to be married. Because, like I said, maybe you previously were, or you're in a long-term relationship, whatever. But on the flip, I don't think that somebody who you shouldn't speak on things that you don't know very well about. But quite honestly, giving marital advice, especially unsolicited marital advice, it doesn't matter who it comes from, a single person, a married person, whomever. If it's not wanted, or if it's not being willing to be received, then it's no point. And I think it's just ultimately a single person can offer advice if they have some type of history to show that they've been in your shoes. If they have not been in your shoes and the advice is unsolicited, then they need to just kind of keep it pushing. Be there for you as your friend, but don't think that you're going to be able to really give any type of meaningful support. What do you think?
Thank you for that very long answer.
I know you were not talking.
Anyway.
Y'all gonna get your friend.
How you can offer advice when you're single. I would. Dani said it all. So, I think you can give advice based off of what the subject is. I mean, I don't want to keep saying the same thing that you said, because you said it so eloquently.
Thank you.
So,
I appreciate that.
So, I hope that you and your friend are able to work it out. I'm a big believer that if someone's your friend, you can have those tough conversations and still be friends.
Mm-hmm.
But if she came at you with fire, you came back with fire, and now she's not banging with you, then that's a problem. If she doesn't understand that your family comes first, that's a problem.
That's the biggest problem.
Because, again, what's the sense of you coming out if you and your significant other were beefing and now you're not in the mood to go out, or now it's not the right time? Like, as your friend, she should be like, you know what, I understand. Because at the end of the day, events are going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
There'll be another event. There may not be another marriage. There may not be, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
So I would say definitely, if the friend is worth having, they'll show the signs that they're worth
keeping around.
Exactly.
Cool.
So
that was a lot.
We appreciate it. Ain't having it, wifey.
Thank you. And before we go on, let's hear a word from our sponsor. This week's episode is also brought to you by Gainz Sports Gear. Embrace the process. Don't forget to use Lovers10 for 10% off your first purchase. And don't forget to go to www.gainzsportsgear.com. That's GAINZ sportsgear.com. Embrace the process. Now, back to the show. All right, folks. It has come to that time of the show.
That time.
Where TJ and I, even though we've already hashed it out once, have our official Lovers Quarrel of the episode.
Yes. Lovers Quarrel. Bing, bing, bing.
Oh, yes. Booyaka Booyaka. Is that one?
No. What was that?
I'm trying to mix it up. I'm trying to find, like...
No, that was terrible.
It's
Booyaka Booyaka?
Yeah, it's like conflict sounds.
No, definitely not. Isn't that like...
A booyaka's a gunshot. It's a conflict.
No. You need to work on it.
Listen, I'm gonna get it, and then you're gonna be jealous.
I'm not.
You are. You are.
Your sound effects are terrible.
My sound effects are amazing.
This may have to be the quarrel.
My sound effects are
Sound
amazing.
effects are terrible. Beneath me.
Beneath
me.
You're a hater.
No, I'm not. I'm honest, but go ahead. What's the quarrel for this week?
Honestly a hater.
Booyaka.
Boop, 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 boop.
You can't take yourself seriously.
Whatever. Okay, so the quarrel for this week, guys, is going to bed mad. Should you? Should you not? What do you think, babe?
Monica and Tyrese said that you shouldn't go to bed mad. It's actually a really good song too, but
it's okay.
That's because you're not really an R&B type of person, though.
I like
you
R&B.
I
just don't.
Barry Manilow R&B.
You always want to try and make it like a white thing. No,
I'm just saying.
I like all music.
You like. Yes, you do, but I'm just saying you're not like a true R&B. That song goes hard.
The song's okay.
That song goes hard. But anyway.
You going to bed mad. What's your take?
I don't agree with it.
You don't think you should go to bed mad?
I do not. I hate going to bed mad.
You know what? I respect that. Why?
Just because you're angry. Like, you should be able to... Like I said, I'm all about let's go through it.
Mm-hmm.
I want to wait. I don't want stuff to simmer. Let's talk about this. Let's get this over. Let's find out what the issue is. But I don't have to go to bed mad.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm more on the side of it'd be nice to not go to bed mad, but if you're still mad and it's 1:30 in the morning and I'm sleepy, I'm gonna go to bed because now not only am I upset with you about whatever we were arguing about, but I'm upset with you because you're not letting me go to sleep. And sometimes for me, I don't know about any of you out there in the world, I need a nap in order to get out of my feelings sometimes. I will be the first one to admit that sometimes I have toddler tendencies when it comes to my anger.
You need to grow up.
First of all,
100%.
slow your roll.
I'm just saying.
Sometimes a good ass nap is exactly what I need in order to be able to revisit
during that nap?
To revisit the topic.
What if I died during that nap?
I'd be very sad.
Because you wanted to be a toddler and you needed to get a nap.
Sleep
I'm just
allows folks to think more clearly,
organize
their thoughts.
But when you think bigger picture, when you think about the bigger picture, I wonder how many people have lost a loved one and they were angry. I wonder how many people had a fight with someone, beefed with someone, and then they passed away or they got hurt, and how they felt.
I mean, they probably felt like shit, but I think that
Don't feel like shit. Have the same energy you had before. But that's just the way I feel.
Well, what? But then,
if you're mad at me when I got hurt, if you were mad at me before I got hurt, don't be like, oh my God, I feel so bad. Nah, have that same energy that you had because you chose not to fix the situation because you needed a nap. You needed that moment. You needed a toddler nap to be able to say, I'm getting over myself.
But sometimes people do need to sleep on it.
Right. And sometimes
cooler heads prevail.
And sometimes people die. And sometimes people go missing.
That's so dramatic.
It's so dramatic, but...
It's so drastic.
It's real shit, though.
It's
the same way how...
I think there's more...
It's the same way how if you don't... Like, in my family, we always say, I love you. Because you never know when the last time you're going to speak to somebody.
You're right.
So that one time you don't say it is the one time they didn't hear it. Or, you know what I mean? You didn't tell that person, I love you one last time. That's all I'm saying. It's just that you're going to bed mad because you're choosing to stay mad. You're choosing to say, let me take a nap so I can feel better. That's a choice.
It is.
So for me, you made that choice, and whatever comes after that choice, you have to be able to accept that responsibility.
I understand that. I do think there's an extreme circumstance, but I think on a regular day-to-day basis is that sometimes you don't want to go to bed mad and you hash it out until you get to a common ground. But then sometimes, like, the steam is rising so much off your head that you got guns blazing and you're working on all cylinders in an argument or a debate or whatever, that there is no coming down from the anger at that moment. So maybe a break, maybe some time apart, whatever, or even if it's just like, or in this case, if you're together and you're married and you have nowhere else to go, even if going to bed and waiting till the morning to resolve it is the option. Like sometimes sometimes that's what people need. It's not everybody, but. And I'll say this. I think it's ideal not to go to bed angry with your partner or your spouse or whomever. But I think that if it happens because it's an accident, or if it happens because
it's an accident,
like a person like for me, sometimes
me and you arguing and you accidentally fall asleep. That's an accident.
I have nodded off during an argument before. Have I not?
I don't think we've ever been mid argument and you've nodded off.
Okay, maybe not mid-argument. Maybe not me yelling and then all of a sudden I have narcolepsy and I tip over. But maybe me and you are having a very intense discussion and it's your turn to talk and I nod a little bit. It's happened. You don't remember
it could have happened. I'm
okay. What I'm saying though is that
I'm just saying. I just think it's weird, but okay.
Listen, I'm not saying it's normal. I'm just saying though is that it happens, and so sometimes a good night's sleep is the best remedy.
Sometimes. I think it depends on the individuals.
I agree.
I would prefer not to go to sleep mad.
I would prefer not to go to sleep mad too.
Unless you can get a nap.
No, not unless I can get a nap. But if a nap or a good night's sleep might be the difference between continuing the argument or resolving it, why not? Catch a couple Z's.
I mean, honestly, if we're not talking about it now, don't talk to me about it later.
Oh, that's a little petty, but...
How's it petty?
Because... So it's either we fix this now or we never address it again.
I'm not saying we never address it again, but I'm the type of person that if we don't talk about it right now, if you give me time to really think about it, then I'll just be like, fuck it, it is what it is.
So you'll be over it.
I'll be over it. And then
okay, that's not a terrible thing either.
And then you'll be like, oh, you're placating me. Da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, because if you're just, it's what you say is how you say it. So, I'll say that. So, we can agree that it'd be ideal not to go to bed mad. However, sometimes you will try to do your best to make sure that happens. And I
will rather get your nap.
I would try, but I would not.
If you could get a nap in and then apologize,
it'd be a more sincere apology.
You'd feel better because
I'd be rested. It'd be well thought out.
Okay.
Listen, sleep does the body good. So sometimes going to bed mad.
I just need 3 hours. I'm good. I'm Gucci.
Wow, it's easier said than done for me. But y'all figure out what y'all want to do. Talk to your partner. If you want to go to bed mad and the other person doesn't?
I'm team no.
I'm team no unless sleep is the better answer.
Unless sleep is the best. Unless you get a nap.
If it's the best.
If it's go to sleep mad.
What if it's the best course?
Or nap it out. You want to nap it out.
Man, let's nap it out. Let's hold hands and take naps.
We can't hold hands because we're mad at each other. So,
but while we're sleeping, we're subconsciously going to come together. We're going to wake up holding hands.
No.
Your guards are down when you sleep.
No.
That's when you let the love in.
Oh no, not me.
Yes, you.
Don't touch me.
I'm not touching you.
I'm just saying, if we're mad, don't touch me. Don't look at me. Don't breathe near me.
I've done all of those things.
Don't let your foot touch me. I will move your foot.
Wait, can I tell you? I'm laughing because of how you get when we are mad and we do go to bed mad, because we do go to bed mad sometimes. What do?
I put the pillows in between us. Don't touch me.
You call me a toddler, but you literally build a bed fort
between us. I just don't want you to touch me. Don't touch me. Don't try to sneak touch me. Don't try to
I don't.
I want you to really know that, like,
you don't bang with me.
If you want this war, you can get this war.
You built a wall.
I'm cool with that.
I'm America. You're Mexico.
No, fuck no. I'm America. You're the Mexican.
Okay. There's nothing wrong with being Mexican.
I didn't say it was. I'm just saying.
Some condescension in your tone.
I'm just going about what your heritage is.
Shut the hell up.
You know.
But yeah, you build a pillow fort.
Yes, I do.
It cracks me up.
If we're not banging with each other, I don't want you.
You should be trying to tear down those walls and make sure that we don't go to bed mad, because that's what you want to do.
We're going to bed mad because you want to go to bed mad. So I'm just playing your game.
Oh, so you won't try to keep me up. You're just going to be like, all right, I'll see you in the morning.
What you mean?
Saying, like, if you're so hard pressed to not go to bed mad, then when I'm trying to doze off, you'd be like, Dani, no, you need to figure this out.
You're gonna go to sleep if you're gonna want to go to sleep. I can't. You just stated that you've dozed off. So
I have.
If you're too tired, too tired. I just want you to know that when I'm in this bed, if we're not messing with each other, don't touch me. Don't come on my side. If the fan is going, it needs to not touch you.
What? You're such a hater.
I could be petty, so Petty Hardaway out
Little
here.
do you know, I gently grazed the side of your face on those nights.
No. Oh, on those nights, I'm on alert. I hope you touch me so I can bang bang, shoot 'em up, booyaka booyaka. Right? Because that's a gun sound, booyaka.
It is.
I'm gonna look up what booyaka is. I don't think that's a gun sound.
It is a gun sound.
Booyaka booyaka. I don't know. I don't think it's a gun sound.
I don't know. I'm just saying I have a little bit of expertise
in sound effects.
I grew up on a block where everybody was from an island. How you spell booyaka?
I don't know. I'm trying to Booyaka.
What's the sound?
What you mean?
Well, what does it mean?
Urban Dictionary
Says the most reliable source on the internet. I roll.
The jungle is massive. Booyaka booyaka. The jungle crazy. It's saying it's jungle music.
It is, but what's the sound represent?
I'm trying to see you. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to read it and be quick. You're right. And they get the sound of a gunshot, specifically in Jamaica.
Exactly.
My fault.
Everybody on my block was from an island.
So, booyaka, booyaka.
Thank you.
My fault. And on that note, Dani's right. And you know what? She's always right, so it doesn't matter.
You're always right.
I thank you all for listening.
Thanks, guys.
I love you all. And we'll see you later.
All right. This has been another episode of Lovers Quarrel, and I'm Dani.
And I'm TJ.
And as always, we fuss.
We fight.
But we love. Bye.
Farewell.
Booyaka, booyaka.